Hello everyone, I am Paul McGuire Grimes from Paul's Trip to the Movies, here with my review of Vice. So this is written and directed by Adam McKay, who's made big broad comedies like Anchorman and Step Brothers, but recently has gone a little bit more topical with movies like The Big Short. He goes for the same approach with Vice in his telling of Dick Cheney, going back to his early years in the Nixon White House under the tutelage of Donald Rumsfeld, as played by Steve Carell, to his present day as the vice president under George W. Bush, as played by Sam Rockwell. Through all of this, Christian Bale plays Dick Cheney. We also have Amy Adams as his wife Lynn, Tyler Perry, and Jesse Plemons. So it's apparent very early on that this is an extremely cynical look at Dick Cheney. You know from the very beginning how Adam McKay feels about Dick, Lynn, George W., and Rumsfeld. One of my biggest pet peeves with biopics, as I'm sure you may know, is when they cover too much ground, which Vice is guilty of. With the film's timeline spanning the Nixon years to the present day, many of the scenes feel very short and really clipped to the next scene. It never allows the audience to really sit and wrestle with what's actually going on, and then doesn't allow the actors to dive into the arc of a scene and how it relates to the overall movie. Unfortunately, this then leads to one-dimensional caricature acting by a majority of the cast. Steve Carell is a cackling buffoon as Donald Rumsfeld. He's really tapping into his days as Michael Scott and Brick Tamland. Lynn Cheney is written as an awful human being, and that's all Amy Adams really has to work with. The same can be applied to Sam Rockwell's take on George W. Bush, as a partygoer and an embarrassment to his father. The only one who's really giving a grounded performance based in realism is Christian Bale as Dick Cheney. He gives another incredible performance, completely inhabiting Cheney without ever feeling like he was, transforming or doing an impression. Now, this all could be a directorial choice to make Dick Cheney stand out as the most grounded, normal one in his circle. We see McKay use a plethora of imagery, text, and metaphors to really over-explain his point without any sort of subtlety to this movie. It's as if he doesn't want the audience to make up their own mind about the film's subjects. Some of his devices really work. There's this scene where we see Christian Bale and Amy Adams reciting Shakespeare in bed. But then the overall abundance and wide variety of all of these metaphors really cheapens their overall impact. I feel like Adam McKay is trying way too hard to be clever, as if he believes he's letting us in on this big secret about the Cheneys. He's trying to remind us about them and possibly punish us for not paying enough attention at the time, which is now why we're stuck with the Trumps. I have to give him credit though, as this film is wholly original in its takedown of Dick Cheney. I just think that there are way too many creative ideas present without enough editing to kind of really pare it down. I'm giving Vice 2 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have new reviews of Bird Box, If Beale Street Could Talk, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And then don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip, and then go to my website, paulstriptothemovies.com, for more reviews, as well as a link to my podcast, Paul's Trip to the Movies on Podcast One. Thank you so much for watching today.